You are sitting still right now. Nothing is chasing you. Nothing is watching you from the tree line. There is no predator crouched in the shadows, waiting for you to look away. And yet, somewhere inside your skull, a system that has been running for 50 million years is scanning, checking, waiting for the signal that tells it the threat has arrived. It never turns off. Not when you sleep, not when you eat, not when you are laughing with people you love. Underneath every calm moment of your life, your brain is running a continuous threat detection loop, and it has been doing this since long before you were human. This is not a metaphor. This is neuroscience. And understanding it is going to change the way you think about anxiety, about the news, about why certain sounds make you freeze, why certain faces make you uneasy, and why your nervous system treats an angry email with the same urgency it would give a lion. Start with your amygdala. You have two of them, one on each side of your brain, buried deep in a region called the limbic system. Each one is roughly the size and shape of an almond. And for the last 50 million years, long before there were humans, before there were primates, before there were mammals as we currently recognize them, this structure, or its evolutionary predecessor, has been doing one thing: scanning incoming sensory information for anything that might kill you. Neuroscientist Joseph LeDoux at New York University has spent decades mapping how the amygdala processes threat. What he found is extraordinary and deeply uncomfortable. When your senses detect something potentially threatening, a sudden sound, a shape in your peripheral vision, a face that looks angry, the signal travels to your amygdala before it reaches your cortex. Before you think, before you reason, before you even consciously perceive what you saw. The amygdala gets the signal first. It fires first. And it has already begun preparing your body for fight or flight before the rational, language-using part of your brain has had a single thought about what is happening. This is sometimes called the low road, a fast, imprecise, automatic pathway that bypasses conscious thought entirely and triggers a full physiological cascade. Heart rate up, muscles primed, vision narrowing, digestion pausing, immune function temporarily suppressed, all in milliseconds. LeDoux's research shows that this system is not calibrated for accuracy. It is calibrated for speed. An inaccurate alarm that costs you a spike of adrenaline is survivable. A missed alarm that lets a predator close the gap between you is not. So the amygdala evolved to be a hair trigger, to fire on incomplete information, to treat ambiguous signals as threats until proven otherwise. Your brain would rather scream 1,000 false alarms than miss one real one. Now think about what that means in the world you actually live in. For most of human history, the threats your amygdala was calibrated to detect were immediate, physical, and resolvable. A predator either caught you or it didn't. A rival attacked or backed down. The threat presented itself, you responded, and then it was over. Your nervous system would return to baseline. But modern threats are different in a way that your ancient threat detection system was never built to handle. They are invisible. They are abstract. They are ongoing. A difficult conversation with your boss is not physically dangerous, but your amygdala does not know that. It detects social threat, the elevated stakes, the potential for loss of status, the uncertain outcome, and it fires. Your heart rate climbs, your palms sweat, your thinking narrows. A negative comment left on something you made is not a physical attack. But the same system that evolved to protect you from spears and claws reads social rejection as a survival threat. Because for most of human history, being excluded from your group meant death. You could not survive alone on the open savanna. Social belonging was not optional. It was biology. Psychologist Naomi Eisenberger at UCLA has conducted research showing that social pain, exclusion, rejection, being left out, activates some of the same neural regions as physical pain. Your brain does not cleanly separate the sting of not being invited from the sting of a wound. They share circuitry. They share chemistry. Your amygdala is not being dramatic when it treats a social slight as a crisis. It is running exactly the program it was designed to run. The program just predates the invention of the internet, the open plan office, and the comment section. And then there is the news. Researcher Davey at the University of Sussex has studied how media consumption affects anxiety and mood. His findings are consistent and uncomfortable. Exposure to negative news does not just make you feel bad about specific events. It amplifies your general level of perceived threat. It primes your amygdala. It recalibrates your baseline. Here is why this matters so much more now than at any point in human history. For hundreds of thousands of years, your threat detection system was only exposed to the dangers within your immediate environment. The predators on your savanna, the rivals in your group, the weather that threatened your shelter. Your threat radius was roughly the distance you could walk or run. Now, in a single hour of news consumption, your amygdala is exposed to threats from every corner of the planet simultaneously. Wars, disasters, disease, economic collapse, political violence. Every danger that exists anywhere on Earth, curated and delivered to a system that was designed to respond to the immediate threats of a small group of humans on a single patch of African grassland. The volume of perceived threat has increased by orders of magnitude. The physiological response system has not changed at all. This is why you can feel a continuous, low-level hum of anxiety that you cannot attach to any specific cause. Your threat detection system is not malfunctioning. It is doing exactly what it evolved to do, except it is now responding to a threat environment it was never built for, and it cannot find the predator to run from, so it never fully resolves. You feel watched because, biologically, you were always supposed to be watched. Your ancestors were prey animals before they were predators. The lurking sensation, the prickling feeling at the back of your neck, the unease in a space you cannot fully see, is the vestige of a time when something in the undergrowth could end your life in seconds. Psychologist Gordon Gallup at SUNY Albany has researched the phenomenon of feeling watched, suggesting that humans have a remarkably sensitive system for detecting the gaze of others, including false positives, because the cost of missing a genuine predator's gaze was extinction, while the cost of incorrectly sensing one was simply mild discomfort. You err toward paranoia because paranoia kept you alive. But here is the deepest part of this. The threat detection system is not a bug in your brain. It is not something that has gone wrong. It is one of the most elegantly engineered pieces of biological hardware your species has ever produced. A system so fast and so precise that it has kept every one of your ancestors alive through 50 million years of genuine, deadly, immediate danger. The problem is not the system. The problem is the mismatch between the system and the world it is now running in. Neuroscientist Lisa Feldman Barrett at Northeastern University has argued that the brain is fundamentally a prediction machine, constantly generating models of what is about to happen based on past experience, and updating those models when reality does not match the prediction. The threat detection system in this framework is a prediction system specifically tuned to worst-case scenarios. It is always asking, what is the most dangerous interpretation of what I am currently sensing? In an environment full of genuine predators, this was flawless engineering. In an environment full of notification sounds, traffic, social media, and ambient news, it produces a brain that is permanently, slightly braced for impact. You are not anxious because something is wrong with you. You are anxious because you are running 50 million-year-old survival software in a world that appeared approximately 50 years ago. The threat detector is still at the window. It is still scanning the tree line. It just cannot find what it is looking for. Because what it is looking for no longer exists in the form it was designed to find. And somewhere beneath all the stillness of this moment, beneath the calm of wherever you are sitting right now, that ancient system is still watching, still waiting, still certain that somewhere out there, just beyond what you can currently see, something is coming. It kept every ancestor you have ever had alive. The question is whether you will learn to tell it when the threat is not real.